All right, guys. Hello and welcome to the first episode of Black Magic Talk. I am Mrs. Witchy Perfect. I got Matt Collins with me, who is known as Grassfire. Um, I'm sorry that my voice is still a little in tangent, but I'm still recovering from my sinus infection. So, we are here today to talk about just general things about Wicca. So, blessed be to everybody because Ostara is coming up on Thursday, I believe. And for us Wiccans, that is a big deal. I don't know about pagans because I really never had any pagan friends before. So, we'll start off with Matt. How did you come to your path? So if you could explain how and why you decided to be pagan as to any other religion, and then I'll just follow suit.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, so Aleister Crowley, probably the most famous magician people might know, said that magic is any conscious act that we do. So I'd first probably ask, what is magic? And to me, I think something that unifies kind of everything is nature. If you look at even science, I mean, has some fields of science that aren't too logical, I guess, like quantum string theory and whatnot, leave a lot of room. Even Christianity, I mean, what do they say? I'm not much for the Bible, but they say you're supposed to, tend to the creatures or something. I don't know. I forget what the exact term is, but
Shepherds will always have a sheep, or sheep will always have a shepherd. Is that what you're kind of
maybe
getting towards? Okay.
No, we're supposed to be the stewards of the land. That's what so that's something that just rings such a pagan tone. And I mean, what is paganism? I think it's a nature-oriented belief structure, and it's crazy how much of a difference it makes. Like I always thought myself as a grateful person, but when you put it at the center of what you are doing and who you are, it's so much of a difference. And that's like nature too. Someone can say, oh, I love dogs, I love cats, but it's different when you love nature or you're nature oriented, because pagan beliefs put nature as the absolute pinnacle of everything. So, we're just a part of nature. We're no higher than animals or lower. And I think that's something that throws people off in a sense. We're different, of course. We think differently. We have different functioning limbs than animals do. But they are teachers. I mean, if you look at sonar, we learn from animals. So many things, Yeah, nets, my son said. And it's true. I mean, you observe nature, and then you can make life better from having done that. And I think that's probably why we're having a resurgence of pagan ideas, because we need nature right now. And we've got too far to where we're using poison and not caring, and killing bees off and not caring. And, bees make coffee. That right there should be enough of a reason to help them. But they make a lot more than that. I mean, I wouldn't do without honey or coffee. So, but I always have found myself drawn to what others would call magic, or maybe an overactive imagination. To some,
I would agree with that.
Yeah, and once you can figure out how to make your mind work for you, then getting back to the Crowley quote I started at the beginning with, every conscious act, but you've got to know what you want in order to get what you want. So that's another big part of it. Intention.
Contingent. Now, in paganism, do you worship a god or a goddess? Or is it more just like a generic male and female neutral kind of prayer that you do?
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I like to see it as the masculine and feminine. Even a god who's so well known like Thor, you think, oh, the strongest, of course.
Yes, with the hammer.
Very, very masculine.
And lightning. He was the god of lightning.
And his wife, though, is a goddess of grains who's very nurturing and growing and loving. Yes. So there you see the balance, which I think sometimes can be missing from Abrahamic
male
beliefs.
And female.
Yeah, they miss the feminine. And I think that's something that is playing a great role on our society right now because we have a great imbalance.
Yes, I would definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
So do you
to answer your question, Odin and Freya is
Freya, okay. So how long have you been on your
path? Particularly Norse, not North, for about 11 years, I would say. Okay. But I started researching when I was like 15.
Okay.
Reading, Plato and Nietzsche and William Blake, especially. And just
and you are a little bit older than me, so you're in your early 40s.
Yes, I'm almost 42.
So I will be 38 this year. So tell me a little bit about how paganism, how you would see it differ from Wicca. Like, do you have any like the rule of 3? Or is it more generic? Do you do rituals? Do you do spells? Tell me a little bit about that from the pagan side.
Yeah. So I'm not terribly familiar with Wicca. I know a little bit about like Gardner, the supposed starter of Wicca.
Yeah.
I have read a book called Witchdom of the True from Dr. Flowers, which talks about Freyr and Freya, like a more Vonic approach.
Okay.
Because most people are into like Odin and Thor, the side of it, which is the Aesir gods.
Especially then when the movie Vikings came out.
Yeah. And Vikings, yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of people were more interested in the Norse side of things because the Vikings show had come out.
Yes, absolutely.
Sorry about that. Go ahead. I'm sorry I interrupted.
No. But so Freya and Freyr are the Vanic side of the Norse culture, and they're more. Probably you would see him like Wicca, with all due respect, because there's lots of differences. But
respect. Okay, so a little bit of background of paganism. Paganism is older than Christianity. However, when doing my research, it looks like Hinduism was the first religion to ever grace us in the earth, but that was more from India. And yes, there are sects, like there's like in Christianity there's Baptists and Protestants and Catholics, and there's all kind of denominations. So would you say there are denominations in paganism, or is it more just a general all over paganism is just kind of like a all encompassing?
There are different denominations. Like there's some folk who call themselves Odinists, and they worship Odin. I would consider myself an Odian, so I try to like follow his example, but to be my own deity, if you will.
Oh, I think that's awesome. So when you did your research 11 years ago, what made you love paganism so much that you would actually give up, maybe, I don't know if you were Christian before or Jewish or any of the Abrahamic religions, if you were just kind of like an atheist or an agnostic. I know a lot of people before they went to the craft were Christian. Also, several others were, Jewish or whatever. What kind of, like, did you think that there was a God, or were you interested in any Abrahamic religions or teachings or anything?
I was until I was about 11. And then honestly, we got robbed, and I prayed to Satan, and Satan answered my prayers. And so since I've been 11 or 12, I've not been a Christian. But I was an eclectic pagan. So from school, we learned about Greek and Egyptian. So
yes.
was kind of more that route, though I didn't have very many books. So,
Okay.
but when I was about 18, I saw a band shirt that had runes on them, which, if people don't know, runes are letters, not that unlike the Hebrew alphabet or the Greek.
Yes.
Besides just being letters, they also have some magical attributes to them.
Yes.
So I saw those when I was 18 or 19, and I said, I am going to learn what those are. And it took me till about 30 to actually start doing it. But so that's what called me to, was the runes. Yeah.
How
And those
about
are still,
maybe the tarot? Did the tarot not call to you as much?
not until more recently.
Okay.
I had a pack of elf tarot, and I never got into it
Oh,
until a few years ago, and then I started to.
okay.
I have a lot to learn though.
Okay. So, when you're, going down this path and, I mean, obviously, did you come out to your family, your parents maybe, and just kind of say, to them, hey, I kind of follow, this, that, and the other thing. How hard or easy was it for you to sort of come out of the broom closet, so to speak?
Oh, I think that's a constant battle just because, my parents being Christian, I think they just think it's their duty to try to teach other people their beliefs. So
Right.
sometimes it can be difficult. But we're respectful of each other. And I don't know. I'm not sure they know what I'm into quite honestly, even though I've told them, but.
Right. And your son? I mean, have you started maybe kind of saying, hey, is there something you're kind of interested in the path, or the path that you want to take? Or is he kind of just out on his own?
I never pushed anything on him because I didn't like that about Christianity growing up myself. But
Right.
he just took to Mother Nature like no other.
Okay.
So yeah, he chose that
No,
himself.
that's great. That's great. Um, so is there anything that you could add about paganism that would make like others want to maybe walk the path or pick up a book, or what would you say? How would you say to someone who's kind of like, well, I don't want to be Christian. I don't want to be the Abrahamic religions. I kind of want to be, I want to walk this path.
Well, I think if you're drawn to nature, I think that a lot of people are subconsciously drawn to paganism. I mean, Lord of the Rings has runes. Ben and Holly has runes. Peppa Pig has had runes. Not as obviously.
No wonder my son loves Peppa Pig.
Right. So I think that people are starting to see that we only have so many resources, and that's incredibly important, probably more than is obvious. Trees and animals, and like salmon go to the same place every year, and so if we block off where they go, they don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, to me, animals is the most important part, and nature, just because we've gone so far off track with being too easy. We've traded easiness for goodness, I think.
Or like corporatism.
Exactly.
We kind of like left the jungle for another jungle gym, but it's all corporate based. I can kind of see that. Yeah. So, I mean, that's amazing. I'm so glad that you have found your path and are not afraid to share it with others. I always tell people, don't be afraid that you're going to push anything on me. The only thing is I ask for tolerance. I never ever push anything onto you. So please don't ever push anything onto me. And that can come down to, I really think that it comes down to, people who are so insecure with their own beliefs and paths. They just have to, oh, well, they have to get reassurance from me somehow. And if I reassure them somehow, that's going to make them closer to Jesus. I don't know. All I know is that, it's like I've always preached tolerance, and I'm glad that you believe what you believe, but that's not what I believe. So, trying to preach to me or trying to push that stuff onto me is just going to make me back away. and that can strain a lot of relationships. So I am Wiccan. I've been Wiccan now for over 20 years. I've been so drawn to magic. Even when I was a little kid, I loved real magic and fake magic. One of my favorite magicians was the amazing Jonathan, because he could do fake magic and illusions, and I was all into that stuff as a kid. When I was about a teenager, about 10, before I was a teenager, I bought a spell book. Didn't know how to use it, didn't really know anything because my mom was Christian. I mean, really Christian. And she grew up, and she expected me to, go to church every Sunday, even if I was with my dad. My stepmom was Baptist, and it's just like, it got it too much. I just felt like I didn't feel at home in church. I really didn't. I felt like I was an outsider looking in, even though, my mom would dress me in these pretty dresses and stuff. Now I never got molested or anything, which is a good thing. But I just, even as an adult, when I got married to my ex-husband, we prayed a lot. And I was like, I just don't think this is for me. And then I got divorced because my ex cheated on me. And I was just like, you know what? This is like the Christian way of looking at things. You can be Christian and do whatever you want. And then it just seemed like all you had to do was say, Jesus, forgive me. And, people would forgive you. People forgave my ex-husband because he asked for forgiveness. And I was just like, I'm not okay with that, because if he cheated on me once, he'll cheat on me again. So it took me a while to figure out, the path I wanted to go. I thought maybe paganism, but then Wicca caught my eye because it was just as beautiful as paganism, very nature oriented. We have the rule of 3. Whatever you send out, you will get back threefold. So they always say positive energy is the way to go. And we do spells, we do rituals. In fact, I will be doing an Astara ritual on Thursday, because I have a teacher who's in Australia, and she has this class that you can, follow your own path. But and she's a leptic Wiccan. I am more the Celtic because I am part Irish. So happy St. Paddy's Day to everybody. And I did I didn't drink anything because I'm still kind of sick. So I didn't have a beer or anything because I'm Irish. But the Celtic side of it, if you actually do a little research and do the into the Celts were feared and revered. They could literally start bloodbaths. Like they could make blood rain down. They could bring in mists at the wave of their hands. So they were very revered. And I think that's a badass thing to do, be revered like that. Yeah, they did do sacrifice, but that's just how they did things back then. They don't do that anymore. If anything, we're sacrificing our energy. We have a things like my altar is right over here. And I have all kinds of stones, crystals. I do have my athane. I do have a wand. I have my statues, and then I just got through Amazon. Oops. As I destroy my set, I just got this little broom. The broom is symbolic. Obviously, everything in Wicca is symbolic. Obviously, we don't silhouette to the moon riding our broomsticks, okay? And all the witches are probably laughing at me right now. But I can't tell you how many times my dad will pick on me and say, that's a little bit short, isn't it? Because he thinks it's just come up and, we ride silhouette. silhouette to the moon. But no, I saw this. It's handmade, and it's actually from the UK. Everything is handmade here. There is a little crystal on top. And again, this is just to push negativity away. Again, all symbolic, not really, it doesn't really mean what it means. And that's like the Hollywood side of it, that Wiccans will ride brooms silhouetted to the moon, especially around Samhain, which is also a big holiday for us. I would say for Wiccans, Samhain is like Christmas and Easter for a Christian. So it's a big, big time for us. Ostara is another big one, which will be on Thursday, where we come, we thank our goddess, which is Isis. We do worship other gods and goddesses. I was more for, at one point, I worshipped or called to Aphrodite, and then she brought me my soulmate. So when that was done, Hecate took over. So I have statues of Hecate on my altar. I also have statues of Isis because I've always felt very close to Isis. I also have a statue of Osiris, who is Isis's husband. Always felt very close with them, which is why I love the movie Gods of Egypt, because that is about Set, Isis, Osiris, and also Horus. But I've always felt very close to the Egyptian side. I do know a little bit of Egyptian history, especially with Isis and Osiris and Set. And then also Ra, Amun-Ra, who was the sun god. But I was always close to Isis. Another goddess that I've always felt very close to, and I think she's very misunderstood. The first time I've ever heard of her was in Indiana Jones and Temple of Doom, and that would be Kali Ma. Kali Ma was always misunderstood. She's not evil. I have never felt evil from her. I have always felt love and curiosity from her. So I do also have a statue of Kali Ma on my altar, and I think that is it for statues. But I've always felt very, very close to Isis and Kali Ma. Again, please don't believe the Hollywood hype about her. She is very sweet and very curious. She loves to watch us humans, kind of like from when I call to her, I feel like she's kind of looking through me, through my eyes, at what us humans will do. Okay. Hecate kind of came to me late, but she's been very helpful in my life. Since she's come into my life, not only do I have my soulmate and she has a plan for us to be together forever, but also she is helping in my financial life as well, and has got me started on not only this podcast, but my wrestling podcast, because I love and adore wrestling and always have. And there's so many good things happening because Hecate has decided to grace my life with her presence and her grace. So blessed be to Hecate. If she's listening, she probably is. When we and we also do moon rituals. So at the setting of the moon, right now we're in a waxing. I was going to do a luxury spell, just to bring a little more money in, to kind of set us in where we need to be. And Hecate and Isis will help me with that. Again, I feel very blessed that I'm here talking to you, and that I'm here talking about something I love, which is Wicca, which is my religion. And this is a, judgment-free zone. If you are Wiccan and Christian, more power to you. I don't know how you would put them together, but you obviously can walk any path you want. I prefer not to walk around with Christian, though I do like the ideals of Jesus Christ. Whereas he would say, love thy neighbor, turn the other cheek. The poor should inherit the earth, give all your worldly possessions away. These are the teachings that any Wiccan person would do, because we do worship nature, and we are more likely to be poor ourselves, because our relationship with money, as my teacher would put it, is always, well, I don't deserve this, so why should I be rich if I don't deserve it? Because there can be negative views on money. So money can be tied to corruption, power, and a lot of things in our government have, corruption, power, greediness. And that is something that, if you believe in your shadow self, we all have in ourselves. So if someone says, well, you're greedy. Well, no, not really. But yes, that is in my shadow side. And that's something else I've been not working with my teacher, but kind of working with my soulmate, because there are times where I will get frustrated and I feel like I'm a bad person for expressing anger, frustration, sometimes depression and grief, because I was abused as a child by my mother. And my soulmate and I have been working on that together. So, but the shadow side, I'm not afraid of. A lot of people are afraid of their shadow side because they can't deal with the fact that they have anger and they have greed and they have narcissism in them, or selfishness, which are two different things, but they kind of can be the same sometimes. Oops, sorry. Keep moving my computer. But it's something that as human beings, we want to work on. And wherever you are on your path, know that, I will never judge you based on your path. It is your path. You must walk it. I have to walk mine. And from walking my path, I've gotten so many new things in my life, such as financial backing, and also my soulmate in my life. I have a wonderful son who I've never said he could never learn about Christianity. His father and I are no longer together. And if he wants to go to take him to church, by all means, you can do that. But I'm also going to teach him some things about Wicca. He does have his own want. So I think that a healthy balance of knowledge is what brings us all together. And, I don't judge you based on you going to church, or you going to a synagogue, or you go to, a mosque. I don't judge you. I don't, do any of that. I just ask that you not harass me or try to get me to believe in your beliefs, because I have my own set of beliefs. Like I said, I've been in this for about 15, 20 years, because I have been so fascinated by magic and what it takes for magic, and the meditation, and the abilities that go with that. I'm very, I like to work with plants or herbs now. I have a whole bunch of herbs under my bed, from just, gathering herbs on, from like little boxes. And it's like, Wiccan starter sets. So I would say that going forward, Wicca is where I'm at, and I can't see being anything else. And my soulmate, who was Christian, but I would say he was more an agnostic. He sort of, believed there was a higher power, but wasn't really tied down to one religion. He has converted willingly. I would never pressure him. And I would say that if he would prefer to stay Christian, he's more than welcome. He says no, he would like to convert, and that's fine. He does do some of the rituals. He will stand with me and do the symbols. So, or will help me call in the 4 elements, which is something we do when we us Wiccans open a circle. Circles are a need, but if see, my room is a sacred space. This whole room is a sacred space for me, and I will. I do have sprays, certain sprays and herbs to sprinkle around the perimeter of my room, so that this is my sacred space, and I can open a circle if I want to, but when this is already a sacred space, it's kind of limited in what I can put in a circle. And our smoke detectors are crazy, and they will go off like that. So I have to be very careful. But once I make it a sacred space, whether I open a circle or I just kind of go around the perimeter, the 4 corners, and kind of, spray my sprays, which make it a sacred space and protection, then I will come back and do my magic, or I will thank Hecate or whatever. Wicca is also very nature-based as paganism. Wicca is based off of paganism. It was created in the 50s. And there are like Germanic, there's Gardner Wicca, and then there's also Celtic Wicca. Like the denominations in Christianity, you can pick whichever one, or you can just say, I am Wicca or Wiccan. Whatever calls to you. And what called to me was Aphrodite in the Greek side. Even though I'm Celtic, I do know some of the Celtic gods and goddesses. Branwen was someone I was very close to, but I have not needed her assistance, so I will not call to her. I will call to either Hecate, Isis, Kali, or and or Osiris, because they are big components of. I think Astara has a lot to do with Osiris and Isis, and the coming of spring. So because they were a husband and wife dual, and they come as a package deal, that brings in the spring. So the fertility, the eggs that, you're so used to seeing from Christianity, the eggs were for fertility. The bunnies were literally for, the coming of spring, the mating of nature, and then the coming of babies. So, very nature-based. We do use plants. I do use plants sometimes, a lot of herbs in my work, in my spell work. In fact, my boss at my other job just got me a pillar candle, which I was using, and I carved in different things like I wanted 20K subscribers on my other YouTube channel, and I'm at 15 plus. So there's a lot of good things happening for me because of my path and because of the people I pray to. Now, I think the magic part is what I really enjoy. It's just, there's so much to do, and I want to do more candle magic, but it's kind of hard when you have smoke detectors that literally will go off like that. So I do want to, I wish there was a room I could have, but unfortunately, my living quarters are, this room pretty much, and that's all I can kind of get into. My dad is Christian and his whole family was Christian. I would say he's more an agnostic now. and he accepts me, my mom will never accept me because she's Christian and will stay that way. So, okay. And so, that's a little bit about, our paths. So kind of tell me, Matt, how did magic impact your life a little bit before we do kind of wrap up here? But just tell me how magic kind of drew you in and how it kind of, all right. So yeah, I paused it real fast. So just tell me as quickly as you can how you, okay. So just real quick before we wrap up here, tell me how magic has influenced your life. Maybe, it's made you, XYZ. So if you could just talk a little bit about that.
Sure. Before I started really seriously dedicating myself to magic, I had terrible writer's block. And so I think magic does a lot of things that are good for you. Practices such as connected breath work, which is basically meditation, but a lot of focusing on how you breathe, can do things such as not completely cure, but can really extremely help with things like PTSD, depression, insomnia, and just clear your mind up so that you're not jumble-minded, So yeah, that's done a lot for me, is just allowing me to have a clear mind. And how many people, regardless of what they believe, will go out into nature to just take a few minutes, and that's part of it. It's just that, again, like I was saying about being grateful, when you make it the centrifugal focus of what you're doing, nature, then your life gets better. So I think arguably, maybe if you didn't believe in anything, but you just were a very nature-oriented person, I think you would feel better. But you go back and look at how our ancestors, regardless of what people you come from, all were nature-oriented, religions or whatever you want to call it. And
right.
It makes sense. Why fix something that's not broken?
Right. And I do agree with you that we are a little disconnected from nature now, more than ever, because I would love to have my own garden where I grow my own herbs and stuff. Unfortunately, I don't own the land, so I can't really do that. But I do think that we're more disconnected now than we have ever been from nature. And once we get back to that, I think people would be a little less uptight, about things. But meditation, it has always worked for me. And like I said, I've always been fascinated by magic, especially, manifesting things that I didn't think I could manifest before. So much of my life, I wanted to believe in science, and I just wanted to be logical. But from the last, 5-10 years, I've seen that there's more of a spiritual side. And I've seen that in the works from what's happened to me, meeting my soulmate, and, really wasn't looking for him, but he kind of found me. And it's been blissful ever since. Ever since we, have realized that, we were made for each other, and I couldn't have asked, I couldn't ask for a better man for me. And like I said, it just kind of, hits you when you find your soulmate, and, it's been 5-6 years, and it's been so blissful. We don't even think about the time anymore. He is with me through thick and thin, and He loves my son, and we're just living the life we want to live, and the rest is, as they say, history. But magic for me has been an eye opener, because there's so much more to the spiritual world than I thought. And because of my soulmate and meeting him, and being Wiccan, I thought I had to be Christian. I thought I had to be a good little person, live by the white magic. But then, you have a teacher, and I always told my teacher that she sort of came into my life when I needed one, because I was kind of like, well, I'm Wiccan, but science is real. I mean, there's no doubt about that, but there's also a whole much more to science, and even scientific theories will actually showed me that there are explanations that, I mean, Wicca already had the answer for. You know what I mean? There was always that answer. It was there in front of me the whole time, and I just, for some reason, didn't see it. So, for me, magic was kind of an eye opener of what the possibilities could be. And I think I still have a long way to go, but, I'm ready to take that next step and do what is necessary to keep me and my family, happy, healthy, and, we just roll the punches. And for someone who, is coming into this and they're kind of like, I don't know where to go. What I would say is, if you ask for guidance from whatever you pray to. So if you call to a goddess and a god, or if you just have the feminine and the masculine, or if there's a Norse god that you pray to or call to, ask for guidance. The spirit world will bring what you need. I asked for help in learning things that I need to learn, and my teacher appeared in my life. And now Sandra, I would say, like I said, her name is Sandra, and she's in Australia. When I needed her, she was there for me. And now I feel like I've learned all I can from her. And now I don't kind of need her as much. I will still watch her videos on YouTube. It's Mystery Witch School for anyone who's looking for a teacher. And I can put links and stuff in the description field. But Sandra has really helped me try to find my path. And I had wanted to bring up that I did have a comment about the black magic title that we have. So I just want everyone to, the clean the slate. Magic is neither black nor white. Okay. It is just magic. I thought black magic was a catchy title because I do like the song Black Magic Woman. I also like Witchy Woman. And there's also a Devil Woman that I love all older kind of music. And so the Witchy Woman and the Black Magic Woman, it just kind of fell into place. And you and I were talking, Matt, back and forth, and trying to, come up with something catchy, snappy, something that we could be remembered by. Please do not let the title fool you. Magic is neither white nor black. It is just magic, and it can help you like it helped me. And like I said, if you are, starting your path, and you need that little extra help, we're here to help. If you have any questions, you can always leave comments. And like I said, I will leave my teacher's links to her website and her YouTube, because I think she can be a big help as well, especially if you are willing to walk that path and find the right path that's calling to you. She is epileptic. and that's fine. You can either follow everything she does, like I did, and I have just printout after printout after printout of everything that she's ever given me in the course that I took. And you're more than welcome to get a hold of her. Like I said, everything will be in the description field. But I think that, magic as a whole in my life has definitely made my life so much better. And, I will continue to walk this path. Matt, kind of tell us how magic has brought things into your life or taken them away, things you thought you needed, but you didn't need anymore. Kind of wrap us up with kind of how magic has influenced your life or made you a better person, or maybe you started, work on your shadow self, which is something I think we could bring into next episode. Our shadow selves. Don't be scared of that. But take it away.
Sure. So that's another huge thing with paganism to me is you have to be responsible for your own path. And so, I know you were talking about the threefold rule of Wicca, but even outside of Wicca and other paganism, the first thing they'll stress is to be an ethical person. And it makes such a big deal. One of my favorite quotes, probably my favorite quote, is good thoughts, good words, good deeds, because your thoughts lead to your words and your words lead to your deeds. And that's how we're remembered ultimately, is by what we do.
Right.
So for me, curing writer's block and being a writer was the biggest blessing I could get besides my son. And magic has definitely helped me in that way. My teacher's actually from the Isle of Man, and he's very Celtic oriented, although he knows the runes and other things too. But his YouTube is MANX Bull and Monk's Bull, and he's a great teacher as well, if anyone wanted to check that out. And
send me the links and I'll put them down in the description field along with my teacher. I think that magic can be so fulfilling. And when we say a spell, people get a little, ooh, oh boy, like it's the Hollywood version of our religion and our path. See, the thing is, people have to deprogram themselves from what Hollywood has put into your head. When we go into a ritual, it's not like, you can. I do have a Wiccan Bible, or it's the Witch's Bible, actually. So I actually have looked in there, and you can do rituals naked, or you can just wear clothes. It's up to the witch or the practitioner how you want to handle your rituals, though. You can go all natural, you can do it outside, you can do it inside. Again, all up to the parishioner. And like I said, don't let the other stuff scare you. Boogie, boogie, boogie. Not going to be. This is nothing scary here. This is just real people who are doing natural things in nature to bring about better lives for the both of us. And as we go along in later episodes, we will talk about, if anyone would like to see us maybe dress in how we would for a ritual. Sometimes I do have a cloak that sometimes I will wear in my rituals and in my spell work. Or if I'm just being lazy that day, I'll just wear what I'm wearing currently. And then, if they want to see how we kind of, I don't know, there are certain things I would have to cover up, because if I move around in my room, there are certain pictures that I don't want seen. And that would be of my son, and that's because of privacy. But if you want to, we could do like a little ritual night where we kind of go through what we would do in our rituals, and what we could even do what my teacher does and do like little meditations. I am fluent in guided meditations. I have done one guided meditation that I did with my soulmate, but that's pretty much the only. I haven't really done it to a group of people, but it's something we could definitely talk about and go through if people are interested in that. It is definitely a new experience for all of us, and we're just going to go by the seat of our pants here with the history of what we have. Um, and then, I also have several tarot decks. In fact, I just got a new one. I don't remember where it is. It's like a modern witch's deck or witch's deck. I do have a Wiccan deck. I also have the original Rider's deck. That's something I learned on because my teacher also does teach a tarot course. Again, all links will be in the description field. If you do want to get a hold of her for any of that stuff, she will definitely, and she does everything remote. So like if you want to do like a tarot coaching session with her, you can definitely do that. I recommend them highly because it's before I knew tarot, she would actually coach me and teach me kind of, how she would do the tarot. And then she just recently came out with a course for tarot. So if you're definitely interested in that, she can help you with that. But I mean, we can just, sit here, and I think I do have a ruin. I do have a bunch of ruins somewhere. But I'd have to find them. They're all pink quartz. So romance, self-love, romance. And then we could do a coaching session with maybe some of your friends if they would like to stop by and maybe have a ruin session or a tarot session. If you're interested in any of that, like I said, my teacher has courses on that. I don't know. Does your teacher have any courses in that?
He runs courses once in a while. Sure.
Okay. So, everything will be in the description field, guys. I hate to wrap this up, but I do need to visit the little ladies' room. And I also am starting to get a little bit of a headache and starting to get really tired because I am still, like I said, recovering from the whole sinus infection thing. But I do thank everybody for being with us today. We just kind of wanted this to be an introduction to both of us, and how we got started on our paths. So, and like I said, I'm trying not to shout. I'm trying not to also be soft like you can't hear me. So, Matt, if there's anything you'd like to add before we kind of kick it.
I've got a blog at matthewcollins.com, and great to be here. Thanks so much. This is going to be a good time.
Yeah. And like I said, we will have some guests who are well known, and they also follow the pagan, I believe. I will try to see if my teacher is available. We could also interview her maybe and see if she would like to, explain a little bit about her mystery school for witches. And if you would like to walk that path, she can give you all that stuff. For right now, I will give you all the links and descriptions that I have. So, yeah. So we'll just take this one step at a time. And thank you guys so much for being with us. My name is Mrs. Witchy Perfect, or you can call me Steph. I got Matt Collins or Grass Fire, and we will see you for episode 2.